dictatorship ruled by silence. I think today we are here because we are great believer in democracy. Right, so I will go straight to the point. My sharing with you will be in two parts. Part A will let us know what is referendum as a powerful tool of democracy, the evolution. And then part 2 will be the specific legal component if you want to have a referendum act. So, we started as a direct democracy. Longhouses, 10 billion, head of the billion will decide on the Longhouse affair. The moment it started, even before BC, the question is, when you have 10,000 people, 1 million people, you cannot have direct democracy, right? So you have to have what we call representative democracy by elections. I have been elected 7 times. On the 8th time, I was defeated. Thanks God. He gave me. Now, we all say democracy is governed by the people. Yes. Electors are the master for one day during the voting day. Correct? The moment you elect the MP, council degree member, they will be there for the next 5 years. Order. Oh. Oh. No, we go to the A. Go run through is easier for A. Eh? Easier to tie you down. Huh? Evolution of democracy. Let us don't take a confrontational idea. Government may look at it as a threat. Rakyat may look at it as a powerful tool. We look at it as an evolution of democracy. To strengthen the British system of parliamentary democracy with referendum. Direct democracy doesn't work these days. Population big. Then we have this representative democracy. Citizens to empower parliament to govern us for the next 5 years. During these 5 years, all the exercise of power are vested in the parliament. Parliament decide who are the minister and prime ministers. So basically, legislative and executive in under British system are 2 in 1. Where is the prime minister come from? From MP. So these 2 branches actually are 2 in 1. So the effective check and balance is not there. You agree? Yeah. Right. Next one. Eh? Now, then as the democracy system evolved, representative democracy plus referendum. This system was institutionalized in 1847 in Switzerland Constitution. In other words, there will be continued election, blah, 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 but there's a referendum system so that the citizens, the electors can continue to check the government of the day as times when need arises. Right, next. Now this function of referendum system, is it healthy? Is it improving? Yes. The governing authority, that means the parliament or the cabinet, they can initiate referendum. This system, they can use it to seek public opinion on controversial or divided public policy of importance. For example, some ministers say we want to abolish death penalty. For example, this is a very controversial, divided social view. This is a subject where you may as well push it to the people. Let citizens decide, not 220 MP, not ministers alone. Don't you think so? So when it comes to a very divided or controversial same-sex marriage, for example, you want to have a nuclear plant power, very controversial. So the government can use it, can make use of referendum to seek public opinion, because they find it difficult to decide. Next question is, this part is very important. Citizens can initiate referendum, especially at any time, over very important public policy of great importance at any time during the tenure of office. I come to here. You elect me, I will be the boss for the next 5 years. There's nothing you can do to check me, because I will tell you, don't worry, you decide to elect me or not at the end of the 5th year. I remember one prime minister said that. But say you go to the ground, street demonstration, that's not the proper forum. The forum, you wait until the terms come. So during that 5 years, 10 years, the electors who mandate the government can do nothing. Is that agree? Because you follow the system, you can do nothing. So you have to depend on the opposition MP to do the check and balance. Because they are outnumbered, so the check and balance are not very effective. So that's why, for example, UK, they want to leave European Union. Well, they have to go for a referendum. Scotland wanted to independent. Okay, UK say, okay, go ahead. Let them decide. In New Zealand, when they decide whether they want to carry on with the compulsory military services or not, ask the people to decide through referendum. Right? Now, this right to referendum cannot just appear. Because this right to hold referendum must be created through legislation. Either enshrined in the Constitution, or you create a law called Referendum Act, or you enshrine it in the Constitution. So Parliament to act Referendum Act, or to amend the Federal Constitution to incorporate such proviso. All right, next. Now, Sarawak state government can do a referendum ordinance, but the subject to be put, the question to be included in the referendum must relate to the state affair. Right? Now, my discussion, I refer to, there's so many laws to refer, so I will just refer to UK law, the political one, and the New Zealand law. New Zealand law is Citizens Initiated Referendum Act. Citizen can initiate it. This one, UK law, who can initiate it? Only Parliament. When they want to have to seek public opinion, the Parliament must pass a specific law to decide on British exit. Or Scotland independent, they had to pass a law. Each time there is a referendum, they have to pass a law on each case. Very cumbersome. Whereas New Zealand one is citizen can initiate. I will let you know when we come to the component part. Next. Now, normally when you want to initiate by authority, parliament, government can do it. It's very simple. Or if it is by private citizen, there must be a minimum number of electorate. In New Zealand, you need, I think, 5 or 10% of the registered electorate You must gather 5 to 10%. Cannot be Tom, Dick, and Harry. 500 people start a process. No. Right? Now the subject must be single, one subject, and must be very specific. Cannot be dilly-dally. And you are asked to vote yes or no. There's no middle way. Right? That is it. Now, obligatory type of referendum. The result of the referendum will be binding and enforceable on government. That's one type. The other one is advisory. That one just for consultative purposes. That one is wasting a lot of time. It's this one. Right? Then who is going to conduct the referendum? The Election Commission will follow the Election Act as usual. Right? Next. Now, example of referendum subject. Australia, I just quote some example lah. Even they vote on GST. New Zealand, they vote on this new system, election system. First past the post or the mixed one, proportional representation. Netherlands, you choose to die. And Tunisia. Switzerland, okay, next. Thailand, Taiwan, UK, Norway. 1907, they go through referendum to empower women to vote. 1907. Remember this date, my sisters? You can only vote since 1907, thanks to the referendum held in Norway. How important was it? Right, next. Okay, this one, never mind. Don't want to dwell with it. Okay, now this one, I just want to let you know. By year 2013, West Malaysia now have 75%. We have 15 or 14. Sabah have 11. Right. So that was the position. That is the position since 2013. In 1963, West Malaysia have 65. And then Singapore left with its 10%. And then the person go to where? Okay, thanks. Now, I using the Sarawak special constitutional position or special safeguards. What is our position? Who can protect us? What are the laws that protect us? To make sure that our special constitutional position or special safeguard are not easily amended or taken away. Right? I want you to refer to this particular article. This article says that, together with 159, article says that you can make changes relating to the special constitutional position of Sarawak or Sabah within Malaysia with 2/3 majority plus, that's most important, plus consent from Yang Persatuan Negeri Sarawak or Sabah. When you say consent from the Yang Persatuan Negeri Sarawak, it means the cabinet. So you only need 2/3 majority in the parliament, Malaysian parliament, plus consent from our state. Then you can change, you can take away, you can amend, or you can improve. Is it important? Very important. Now the next question is, we have been in Malaysia under alliance ruling, and then under Barisan Nasional ruling for all these years, correct? There are certain changes to our special safeguards. I don't want to go into detail, you are fully aware of it. Is this sufficient to protect us? The 2/3 majority in the parliament are not sufficient. You know why? if West Malaysian vote according to geopolitics, they have 75%, right? Then the next guardian will be the state government of Sarawak. Can state government of Sarawak be a strong guardian for us, for the citizen I'm talking about? You have to look into the history of the last 50 years. What has been happening? I don't want to make comments because that drill into the deep heart of politics. So I don't want to touch on that. Huh? So what do we do? What do we do? Two-thirds. They had it. Consent from the state government. If you still have the faith, well and good. So it has been suggested that in order to secure sufficient firewall, this is the first firewall, second firewall, the third firewall, where it's better to create, to grant a power to the electors of Sarakan. Before they take away or change any special rights, you must get the consent from Sarawak people, electors. How? Referendum law. They say, I'm just assuming, they say they want to take away immigration control. How? Hey, state government, wait, you may agree, but please refer to the Raya of Sarawak. So the Raya of Sarawak will be the final guardians. I'm just saying that referendum is useful here. Don't you think so? Yes. So don't you think that this particular proviso can be considered to be included? Right, next. Never mind. These are never mind. These special rights. These are never mind. Never mind. These are few accomplished. Now, reminder, what do we do from here? Talk so much. We share the same idea, but nobody take any actions. Or if there is, very small amount of people. So, citizens, all political parties should follow up with actions to convince the state government or to convince a parliamentarian, hey, better amend the constitution to add in to add in a few words to create the right of referendum. This right should be given to Sarawak people. Right. And this is simpler way, just amending the federal constitution. And this is a simpler way, faster. The other one is a long winter roads. You create a law called Referendum Act. That one you have to go to Parliament. It may be a long process, but you still have to do it. All right. So this is. You understand how referendum is complementing our system. It's not confrontation. It's complement. We give leaders the power. Electors must also have the final say when the power is not exercised properly. Right? Especially during the 5 years time. Certain mistakes are irreversible. Okay? You make a mistake, second year, it cannot be reversed. Cannot be reversed. So, when we had the referendum, we are able to advise, able to protect the basic rights more effectively. Right? Next one.
3 more minutes, Datuk.
I think another 5. Very simple. Where is mine? Thanks. Okay, these are just as, if you want to make a law, these are the usual things. Right, next. Next, interpretation, objective of the act. You have to create a right for elector to hold referendum. The effect of referendum, you have to spell it. The next one, the scope of question for referendum. If it is federal affair, you got to go to national referendum. If it is state affair, go to state referendum. Right, next. Local government and other public issues. This can be a double-edged sword. The referendum system can be double-edged sword. In other words, you must be qualified certain issues, certain subject, especially like religious issue. It should not be included in the referendum, right? Because in the end, we have this term, tyranny of majority. We will not allow majority to do whatever they want through referendum, right? So next, category of referendum, binding or not binding. Content of referendum, you have to have a petition, then you have to have a question frame, and then you have to have a signature of elector. 5%, 10%. I just suggest 10%. Now procedure. This part is very tricky. We can initiate the petition. Question is, who decide that this question is proper? In New Zealand, if you comply with the 10%, if you comply with the proper question, the person that decide will be the Secretary of Parliament, which is it. Or here I've been thinking that we must have a referendum commission, totally independent body. Then they will go through this. Next. Then the Speaker of the Parliament or the Chairman of Referendum shall within the table to the Parliament, not for approval. Okay? It's for information. Next. Then the Speaker will instruct the Election Commission, you must hold a referendum poll. It's not election poll, It's a referendum poll. Right? Not election poll. Right? Next. Conduct, okay, these are the usual way. Next. Alright, the result. Next. Can be initiated by Parliament, by government, or private citizen. Next. Now, who to receive and determine application? I'm just giving you some idea. Just give you some option for you to think about it. One is Parliament or Referendum Commission. Referendum Commission, I prefer this. It is completely independent and it should be appointed by the king or rulers. Rulers conference. Chairman must be, that's just like somebody retiring. Nothing to benefit from, without fear of favor. Retiring Chief Justice or Chief Judge. Members are very important. Non-political affiliation, respectable citizen, community. You must have a communities. Even small community must be represented. Religious representation, make sure that nothing goes sensitive matters. Social organization, human rights, minority, blah, blah, blah. This is just idea only, right? So you don't check it, right? Okay, so these are the framework. If you intend to enact a referendum act, these are the few things that you have to watch out. Right? So my final word is, for democracy, our system to evolve, government or the one in authority must learn to share power with the people. Sharing power. You are safer if you share. Not my decision. I am the Prime Minister, but not my decision. You people decision. Always go back to the people. Sharing power with the people, not at the end of the 5th year. Alright? Important thing, you always go back to the people. How to consult people? Having seminar? Cannot. The best way is troublesome lah, but let people vote lah. Don't you think it will be the expression of the majority? Expression of the majority. So with this, I'm just throwing you that referendum is healthy. It's necessary. The next question is, we have to enact a law to do it. Now with this, thanks.
Thank you, my boss. Datuk. All right.